This is the true life secret of a lady who saw an abomination, but before we get into it, if you are a fan of true life secrets, do subscribe and press the notification button to be notified whenever a new video is posted. This is how the lady narrated her story. My name is Ajiwa and I'm 25 years old. My father is one of the leading and respected pastors in Ghana. I used to believe in God, but something happened that changed my mind and my belief toward God. God has done something wrong against me, and this was because I stayed with both parents together with my siblings. I had a boyfriend in school, but I told him that my policy was that no sex before marriage, and he agreed, but after some time he succumbed to the pressures from his friend and made up his mind to sleep with me. However, I told him that I wasn't trained to do that. Moreover, my father is a pastor, so I can't do that. Due to this, our relationship ended. One day my father, the pastor, called me and told me that he wanted me to date our church organist called Charles. I then told him that I would consider it. However, he put so much pressure on me to accept this organist, and so because I don't want it to look like I was disobeying him, I accepted this organist as my boyfriend even though I don't really have any feelings towards him. What made me to accept my father's request was because he doesn't want to lose Charles as an instrumentalist of the church. To him, once Charles and I are in a relationship, he would not leave the church to anywhere. Very good instrumentalist like Charles is very difficult to come by. I then accepted Charles as my boyfriend but told him that my policy was that no sex before marriage, therefore if he could cope with that, then we shall be fine. Charles accepted my policy but requested that occasionally, we should at least kiss and cuddle each other, and I also agreed to that. Charles wasn't a womanizer like other instrumentalists I know. However, he sometimes behaved and acted like a lady, that is, his mannerism. But I considered it to be his character. We all have different characters. Charles then became part of our family. Whenever he came around, my mother would give him food and treat him as one of us. In fact, he has been coming to our house long before my father suggested him to me. My senior brother, who attended school in the United States of America, was graduating from school, so my mother and my little sister traveled to the United States to witness the ceremony. I couldn't go with them because I had some exam papers to write by then. I was then left in the house with my father and our security man. Charles came around one day, and we decided to cuddle and kiss as promised, but while on it, my father came around and found us. My father got annoyed with me for kissing Charles, but I explained to him that that is what we had agreed on. He refused to accept that and he sent Charles home. He actually sent him home with his car, and when he returned, he warned me to be careful with him and that he didn't train me to be kissing a man in his house even though he recommended him to me. I agreed and apologized. Some few days later, Charles came around again. My father was at home by then, but not long after he came, my father sent me on an errand to buy something for him. Normally, the security man at the gate closes the gate when we went out, but that day, the security man was off duty, therefore I parked the car outside, closed the gate and decided to tell my father that the security man wasn't around, therefore I would lock the gate and go on the errand. Just when I was about to enter the building, I received a call from a friend, and we spoke for about 10 minutes, after which I entered the building. I was with Charles in the hall before my father sent me, so I was expecting to see him there, but he wasn't there. He wasn't in my bedroom and the washroom as well. I then checked my father's room, but Charles and my father wasn't in his room as well. Sometimes when Charles come around, he and my father would have a live worship in his office in the house, so I decided to go and check the office to find out whether they were there. I entered the office without knocking, only to find my father the pastor and Charles my boyfriend having sex like a man and a woman would do. I was shocked to see that, and so I screamed, "Dad!" When they realized that I had seen them, they became surprised and shocked. I started shaking and ran out of the house. My father later called me, but I refused to answer the call. Charles also called wanting to explain what happened, but I refused to listen to him because what I saw was very nasty. I had never seen the nakedness of a man before, and so seeing that of my father, I felt very bad. I have left the house and have decided not to answer any call from anybody except from the security man, to know what was going on in the house. My mother is back from the United States, and though she doesn't know what had happened, I didn't want to answer her calls as well. Now Charles wanted me to forgive him and help him out of the situation, but honestly, I don't have any interest in him or any man due to what I saw. How can I forgive my father and even sit down and listen to him preach as a pastor? Should I tell my mother, or should I listen to my father and Charles' explanations? I now understand why my father recommended Charles to me, so that he would always be around for him to sleep with. So, my dad, the pastor, is a gay. What should I do? I need help. This is the true life secret of a Jiwa. If you have any advice or comments, do leave it in the comment section. Do subscribe and see you in the next video.